Welcome to the Prairie Street Prime Culinary Kitchen. I am your chef, Chef Kendra, and you are cooking kosher with me. It is springtime and you can feel it everywhere in the air. And in the spring, I just want purity. I want things to taste the way that they're meant to taste. I want to taste the brightness. I want to taste the meaty flavor of this boneless ribeye steak. This is one of our most popular products. This is Prairie Street Prime's boneless ribeye steak, and it's absolutely glorious. So the ribeye steak comes from the inner part of the rib. The boneless part means that the rib has been removed, and it is the ultimate meat experience, okay? Now, one of the best things about this particular cut of meat is that it has such high marbling. The marbling, I know you hear us like toss that word around a lot. Marbling just means the fat in between the muscle fibers. And you can see that is one fatty, deliciously, gorgeously marbled piece of meat. So here's what we're gonna do. Today, we'll be making a kosher boneless ribeye steak sandwich with herb dressing. For this, I'm gonna do a nice reverse sear. Totally simple seasoning, salt, pepper, shove it in the oven, let it come up to temperature, and then I'm gonna sear it, let it rest, slice it thinly, and put it on a sandwich. So, without further ado, let's get going. Always pat dry your meat. Why do I wanna do that? Well, we never rinse the meat. It's not a good idea because you can have cross-contamination. But I also want a really nice dry piece of meat before I start cooking it. So that way it sears instead of steams. Now I know I'm doing the reverse sear, but that's fine. So nice dry meat, coarse kosher salt, a really nice helping. This is a thick cut of meat and I want this salt to penetrate. Some ground black pepper. Okay, give it a flip. Coarse kosher salt, ground black pepper. All right, pat it around. Get it everywhere. I mean, you really need to get it on the sides because this is like 1.5 inches cut of meat. All right, beautiful. Now, transfer it over to my pan, okay? And I'm gonna put it into a 350, 375 degree oven until it comes to about 120 degrees. Now, on the 120 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature. That's really important. So for rare to medium rare, I want about 125 to 127 degrees Fahrenheit. If I let it go into the oven until about 120, it's going to rest, but it also has to sear, so that's gonna continue to bring the temperature up a little bit. Totally fine. It's gonna be a nice quick process, and you'll see how beautifully crispy we get the outside of it. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. So I had it in a 375 degree oven for about 15-ish minutes. More of what I'm looking for is the internal temperature. And I know that before I said I was gonna go for an internal temperature of 120, but I actually opted to go a little bit lower because I'm going to be searing it in this super hot skillet. And again, I really want to get that really good crust on the outside of it, that super sear. So I am going to hold it in the pan a little bit longer so that way I can achieve that. Without further ado, get it in before it falls apart. Gorgeous. All right, I'm going to cover it up with my little splash guard here. Gorgeous. Oh, it's caramelizing perfectly. And what's so great is that fat is just dripping off. You saw how it already started kind of coming apart. Imagine that in a big bite. Yum. That's what we're looking for. All right. Perfection. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this gorgeous slab of meat. So while this is resting, I'm gonna prepare the rest of the sandwich. You can see in the pan, there's this nice kind of fat in there. I'm gonna very gently toast my bread. So bread can go in. Now I'm gonna make my herb dressing. So for the herb dressing, I'm actually going to use a base of a kosher vegan mayonnaise. This is a non-dairy mayo that is also kosher. And to it, I'm just gonna spruce it up a little bit. I'm gonna spruce it up with some freshly chopped herbs, just whatever I have on hand. I happen to have parsley and cilantro, so I'm just gonna toss those in. 1 clove of minced garlic. Okay, give that a little stir. I'm gonna add in a little kosher salt and a little ground black pepper. And you know me, I'm a big lemon zest girl. Give it a little freshness. Okay, all right, let's see what we got in the bread. That's perfect. I'm gonna get ready. We're gonna slice him up and we are going to assemble our sandwich. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the moment that we have all been waiting for, especially me, because it's right here in front of my face. This amazing kosher ribeye steak. So I have let it rest. It is now 127 degrees Fahrenheit, internal temperature, which is totally perfect. I have toasted the bread in the juices of the meat, that nice fat. And then we made this really beautiful herb dressing with kosher non-dairy mayo. Superb. So let's take a little slice of this. You can see all this beautiful fat here. Nice thin, oh, look at that. Totally just perfect, perfect pink color. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, let's let that sit for a second. Now, back to the sandwich. Said bread. Some of this beautiful dressing. Okay, give it a good smear. Excellent. You can do both sides of the bread. I kind of want to, again, I'm just being a purist today, so I'm gonna just go on one side of the bread. It's a really nice country loaf. And we're just gonna layer up this meat right on top. Okay. Said sandwich is assembled. Oh my gosh. And here we have it, Prairie Street Prime's kosher boneless ribeye steak sandwich with herb dressing. I know that you want it as badly as I do, but I'll take one for the team and just taste it for all of us. This is the kind of sandwich that dreams are made of. The pungent garlic, that very little bit of lemon zest, that perfectly sweet, beefy, fatty flavor with those bright herbs. Prairie Street Prime's kosher boneless ribeye steak sandwich with herb dressing, absolutely to die for. If you want to try this recipe and any of the other recipes that we have fresh for you from Prairie Street Prime, go onto our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Prairie Street Prime. Check out everything that our culinary kitchen has to offer. It is this and more. For the ingredients and for the recipe, check out the description below. Leave us some comments, leave us some thoughts, and let us know how you like it. Remember to go onto prairiestreetprime.com and order up your boneless ribeye steak and give this guy a shot at home. See you next time. Subscribe to our channel now and set your notifications so you don't miss our latest recipes and chef-led tutorials. Then head over to prairiestreetprime.com to shop for your next big meal.